So Zach, how has this experience been for you being a Hall of Famer, and has it been everything you thought that it would be?
Oh, for sure. It's been an awesome process that, you know, it's humbling, especially even come back in this building right now, just to be there to represent everybody here in the whole building, all you guys, because, you know, I know every one of you guys, and it's, I know every one of you were supporting us even when you're asking tough questions. Seriously, and even now, I know you're supporting this team. You want this team to win. And for me, I finally got that win. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to being a Hall of Famer, because that's all I played for was for the wins. It wasn't for the accolades, any of that stuff. It was always just about the wins, and this is definitely a win, And I'm very proud, and it's good to see everybody in here, man. Just to be part of it, it's pretty cool.
Zach, did it ever get to a point where, like, maybe, dang, finally happened about that dang time?
Oh man, I don't think I ever got to that point, because looking back at it, I just always look back when I was done playing. I was just always grateful that I played a game for so long, 28 years of football, man, and it was so good to me, and and I always just look back. Anytime I ever thought that, man, a game owes me nothing. I remember when I was 8 years old with big dreams from a small town. I was a small town country boy, man, and for me to ever be like, oh man, be negative about something. That's not me, man. And I know that in this game, you got to rely on so many different things. And got a little lucky along the way with health, with players around me, great coaches, a great high school coach. Crazy how he taught me a read on a napkin, and it got me labeled instinctive and smart. Crazy, man. I mean, you guys, you laugh at that because you know me. I'm not the smartest guy in the room right now, but it's wild how it played out, and the timing was perfect when it come to that. I never really thought of it because when the guys going in, you respect so many of the Hall of Famers even going in before you. I think Jason Taylor being so dominant, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to go in right after Jason. You know what I'm saying? He was so good at his game that, yeah, he probably, they pushed me back a little bit, right? So, but I'm proud to represent our teammates.
Zach, you play for the W's, you play for a championship, but you didn't get the championship. But getting this, does it give you like kind of a complete ending to your career? You feel like that now?
Yeah, it definitely just makes me proud, because everything we fought for was the championship. I'm not going to lie, man. And I feel like if you get that championship, it makes your road a lot easier. So you had to do something right if you didn't get the championship. And I feel like I played the game right and didn't ever get the championship. And, I look back at it. I wouldn't want to change a thing, but I wanted to win for you guys. I wanted to win for the fans. They deserve it.
Zach, there were a lot of years when that call didn't come. Had you ever resigned yourself to never getting in?
Well, I didn't really think about it too long, Greg. I never let the ego get in the way. So I think when I played, I never even looked at myself that way either. I always want to make myself uncomfortable, get the best out of myself. A little insecurity, I would say, to get the best out of myself. And even afterwards, there's so many great players around me. But I am proud of getting here for sure, man. It's it was a long road. Had to be patient. Good things take time. I never doubted myself when so many doubters were out there, you know. But that was the best thing about it. It just helped motivate me to be my best. Gave me that chip on my shoulder. So.
Zach,
Is
we're
there a
here.
game or a moment or something somebody said that, because you came in as a low draft pick, and that said, okay, I can be a star in this league, or I can make it in this league, considering you probably never said I can be a star.
Was there a moment? Oof. I think, and I go back to it, and I've said it before, like that national anthem. Don't be making me choke up, Dave. But that national anthem, that first game, special. I think that was. All right, let me see here. I've been trying to read tips, so I'm not crying when it comes to the induction. And so if I look at your feet and I look at your eyes, forgive me. But I know when I'm talking about my family, I'm going to be looking at feet. You know what I'm saying? Even Jimmy. But I think that moment of the national anthem was the time I knew I had the starting chance and I wasn't going to let it go. So I feel like that was the moment that I knew. All right. Let me drink water. You know, you're right. That's what I don't want. I'm going first, and I don't want to take away from any of the inductees behind me, because you want to respect them and their time. And I got 28 years of football to thank everybody in 12 minutes. It's not happening, man. But the thing is I want to make it under 12. And even if I have to fumble through it or stumble through it, cry through it, I'm gonna make it happen because you got to respect these guys' time, and I'll get my points in. I'm gonna miss a lot of people to thank, which it's tough because like I said, 28 years of football, and so many people impacted me. It's tough to thank everybody, and so I might have to do some writing, call people up. I'll thank Harvey right now because I don't have him in my speech. So.
Now that you're at camp, do you remember day one at your first camp, what it was like, the vision you had for your career, the hope, the expectations, just the emotion of that, becoming an NFL player?
Wow, and 27 years ago, that's crazy. I do remember it being hot. I can still smell the wet grass, the dew on the grass that early morning when they used to start before 9, right? 8:45, right, Harvey? Just being out there and just looking across, this is Dan Marino right here, man, like right across from me. I'm competing against Dan Marino. And just looking back at those camps, man, I was so focused, laser focused, just to make the team. It wasn't anything else on my mind but making the team. And that was those are good days. Good days. That's back when the two-a-days happened. There's no one-a-days.
Nothing like inside drill to start practice.
Oh, that was, inside drill was definitely physical.
You talk about the national anthem being that moment, but when we were following you at that first year, Jimmy brought in Jack Del Rio to be his linebacker.
Yeah.
He cut him early because he was convinced that you were the guy. How did that go? How did that conversation go with Jimmy and with Jack Del Rio too, in a sense? How did that whole thing go? Because the torch was passed to you right away.
That's though I talk about a good time, because he's a new coach, and he brought in Jack to be a vet. Jack even took me to the first preseason game, and he was giving me pointers. How cool is that? But I respected his game. He taught me, but back to Jimmy, for him to throw me in the mix, look at me, man. I still don't look the part, you know. I was a 154 draft pick. Yeah, I was his guy. But still, man, to throw you in the mix before a game even start, first game, I mean, that's wild to me. But he saw something. That's why Jimmy's the best. I feel like he definitely can evaluate talent when it's on the field. And so for him to throw me from the get-go, because I could have ended up anywhere else. Could have been in a 3-4. Could have been with one coach that didn't believe in me. And then I would have been a special teams guy trying to make the team on the fringe. Crazy how it plays out, man. Isn't it? That's what I'm grateful for. So it wasn't just all hard work and none of that. It's just getting a little lucky, blessed, grateful to have a guy that believed in me.
Zach, what moment in the Hall process so far, whether it be sitting for the bus to be done or getting the jacket, has stood out to you?
Will you repeat that question again?
What moment so far in the Hall of Fame process, whether it be sitting for them to do the bust or getting the jacket, has stood out to you?
I think opening up the jacket when it came to the house with the kids, man, that was special. Kids, you know, they didn't see me play, which was good because I just talking about timing. I wouldn't have any time to be a dad during football. I mean, Maritza being here, she knows that I was all in. She didn't see me much either, and so I'm happy it was perfect timing. But I think the process of opening up at the house, having the kids there, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Even being here at the press conference, you know, I mean, that's, you know, that's what makes me proud.
Zach, tell us about the process of making the bust, and how did it turn out? You pleased?
Oh yeah, I tell you what, yeah, they did a great job. I mean, they pretty much just had to make a square. I mean, you know, so I don't say it was too hard on them. You know what I'm saying? So.
We've heard a lot of players campaign for you over the years and say how much they respect your game. When you finally got the call, who was maybe the guy that called or reached out to you that was maybe most moving that you competed against?
Oh wow, I would start with Kevin Mawai. You know, I had so many Hall of Famers that knew before they even announced it that called me. But when it came to Kevin, he was such a great player. Him to put me in his induction speech was pretty powerful. That's respect right there, you know. And so he'll definitely be in my speech, even being a Jet. But I think him calling me, being so happy for me, because we used to battle. I think he's in a speech said we battled against each other 16 times. And yeah, man, he was really good at what he did, man. He only made me better.
Zach, from the moment you became eligible for the Hall, Dolphins fans were very vocal about the fact they thought you belonged in the Hall of Fame. I'm curious what their support, both after your career and during your playing career, meant to you.
Well, first, yeah, they were very vocal, especially reaching out to the Hall and then also reaching out to Armando. I got to give Armando credit for taking abuse. I wish I would have made it easier on him, you know. He even asked me going into this last year, said, Zach, you want somebody else to present you? I'm like, no. You kidding me? I want you to present me, you know. And so, you know, I'm just loyal with him, and he did a great job, and I'm very happy that I was able to make it. But back to what you're saying, Travis, the fans, I mean, they pretty much fueled me. That love, I ain't gonna lie. I read some of their comments. Pretty cool. Sorry. Pretty cool, you know, comments, the love that they have for you. Oh, man.
Zach, you talk about
playing to win that Super Bowl, playing to win that league. What are your thoughts on this current Dolphins team, these prospects of doing exactly that?
I love the question. We got a great talent on this roster. We got a great head coach and offensive coordinator, probably the best defensive coordinator on the team now. But none of that means nothing if you don't win in this building. You don't win on that practice field, and they know that. It's a choice that they'll make, and we'll see how great they want to be. I'm cheering for them, but I know this is you got to have talent to win, and we got it. So I think Chris Guerrero's done a great job with this roster. It's exciting, man. I'm more excited this year than any year.
Jack, when you say it's a choice that they make, what do you mean by that?
What's up, Omar?
How you doing today?
Yeah. It chooses. I mean, a choice that they make would be more how good they want to be is off their sacrifice, minimizing outside distractions, everything that affects your prep. You know what I'm saying? Being grateful. You're going to have days you're going to be negative. Reboot. You got to be more positive to not affect your prep. Everything is, because everybody just always thinks it's hard work. It's smart work, to be honest with you, you know. Once you figure that out and take care of yourself, take care of your body, having your family understand that, hey, man, my focus is on one thing, and that's to go win, get the best out of myself every day. I feel like when you get to that point, that's the choice. You choose if you want to go to bed earlier or not, just so you can be better and more sharp in the practice the next day or in the meeting rooms. You choose that, you know? And the same thing we choose with distractions, with nowadays phones, crazy, right? These kids, they know those distractions, right? Always on these phones, man. You know, and so I feel like you choose if you want to get into extra film work, you want to get into extra prehab, you choose those things. And that's what makes the difference in the end, you know? And I feel like that's the choice that you make. You choose if you want to be grateful. You know, I mean, I used to drive to work and I would be a little negative or something, and I just would look around and like, most of these people are going to jobs they hate, right? And I would reboot my mindset. I see people pissed off at the light, you know what I'm saying? Like, that would help my mindset. Like, man, I'm playing a game. What am I going to cry about after a loss or something? I'm going in to make myself great. So, good question, Omar.
Zach, you've been out here for practice before, but what's it going to be like to be out here? Today's the first day that the fans are going to be out there in front of them. What's that going to be like?
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be more awesome for my kids. Be out on the practice field, seeing a lot of their heroes that they have out here. But to be out there with the crowd, you know, the good energy, the crowd, you know, and what you feed off of. So it's gonna be awesome.
Zach, when you got the call, did you go back and look at your sacrifices, whether it's watching film and fingers of Cheetos on the VHS or the hyperbaric chamber you had, or
Yeah.
hell, I remember a Bills game there where you came out and we were on the sidelines because that's when they used to let the media on the field, and you had a neck injury in a collision or something, and you went right back into that game with your neck like twisted. I don't know if you remember that game. That was the same game that Ed Perry blew out his knee ligament. Snapping
Was it
the
in
ball.
Buffalo?
Yeah, Buffalo. Yeah. Do you think about those sacrifices now, everything that you did to be great?
You know, I think it wasn't really a sacrifice to me. I feel like it was just being accountable for my teammates. You know, you never want to let them down. I think that was number one, and keeping that respect. You know, I feel like I wanted to be there for them. And I think that was what I played through all that. And then also I had some other motivation things to, you know, I might have had it in my head, but I always felt like I had haters, people that overlooked me, people that doubted me. That made me go back in the game. So
Peyton Manning talked about you'd be frustrated because you would call out his plays as he was calling them out. And you talked about preparing for work for these guys and everything. What, now that your career is long, give us some secrets of things you saw in a game, or is there anything you can remember in a game that factored into, okay, here's something that I saw in film work or something that mattered? Any stories like that?
Well, Peyton's pre-snap was awesome, and that's why he hardly ever got hit. Same with Tom Brady. That's what I enjoyed the most. I wasn't in their playbook, but I went on the fish tank with Seth, and we talked about a time where a lot of times when you get in the red zone, there's only so much script of plays that they have over the last year. Same with short yardage. So when you knew exactly in those moments, in those type of situations, you could call out their play a lot, you know? But even if you know the play, it doesn't matter. You can overrun the play. I'm not saying it's overrated, but knowing run from pass is huge, number one. And I feel like that's where I got a great tip before they even snap the ball. But knowing the play, I feel like there was times I call it out, especially with Peyton, because we're up there in the dome. It's quiet. You could hear their numbers. You know, you could hear everything, and you knew a play that they're going to run. You let him know it. But it's all such a mind game. And so then he's like, man, he's in my book. Well, I wasn't in their playbook. And you want to react anyway as a defensive player. But knowing run from pass, that's huge. That's more important than even knowing the play, which you would know anyway. But I think on the fish tank, I talked about it was short yardage, and I think they didn't have many short yardage plays. And they came in at 21 personnel, and they don't have many 21. They're usually 11 personnel, right? And so they come in at 21. They put the Y flexed outside, and it's always a lead. And it's always a lead to the 3 technique. So I just called it out. And that's probably one play out of the, how many games I've known him. And you should have seen his eyes pre-snap. I call it out, and I blitzed it. And made the play. You got to make the play too. And I just got up, and you just see his reaction, his body language. And I used to read that body language too. He was like, "Wow, he's in my book," but I wasn't. Yeah.
Both careers are over. Did Peyton Manning have another tell that you could be like, "Oh, I know what you're doing here"?
Oh, tails are huge. Pre-snap, I'm telling you, there's so many. It's not so much a player, especially him being so good, but they had some players on the offensive line because they make everything look the same that could give away run from pass because it was hard. They made everything, the press to set up the pass, and everything was on timing. But pre-snap tails, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's down and distance means something when they break the huddle. The personnel means something. The depth of the back means something. The width of the tight end means something. The split of the lines means something, especially one side from the other. It's crazy all the tails, even where the receivers are, means something to you to tell you run from pass. And when you can get that down pre-snap, that's where I feel like I won. And that's the tails is everything, and that's where you win most of the time, or give yourself the best chance to win on that play,
Zach, you mentioned the kids didn't get a chance to see you play, but what's it going to be like for them to see you go into the hall? What do you think their reaction is going to be, yours, the family, just how monumental it's going to be for all you guys?
We'll have to find out. We'll just, They don't look at them. Yeah, we'll have to find out. I just feel like I'm just going to be proud that they can, experience something. They might look at when they get older and be like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're proud of you, Dad. think right now as kids, you know, they're just ready to go take a picture with Tyreek or Tua. They're not even thinking about that.
Are you big Tua fans?
Oh yeah, right. We got two Tua jerseys on right now.
Congrats on the whole. You spent 12 years here in Miami. Was there a particular jersey that you always enjoyed playing in, whether it was the orange or the teal? Or which jersey stands out to you the most?
I think most of them, the orange wasn't what it was, you know, especially when you have our D linemen, they look like pumpkins in front of you, man. You know, it's like, and so it definitely, but I was just trying to be funny there. I really don't know when it came to that. The jersey better be dirty by the time you get to the end of the game. I know that, so.
Zach, do you remember the moment where you first started thinking, I might be a Hall of Famer? Was it while you were playing and maybe a media member mentioned it to you, or after your career? When did that moment occur, do you think?
I think when I was getting text, I wasn't ever, even when I played, I wasn't thinking Hall of Fame. I was thinking trying to get the best out of myself and this team. I was in the moment, you know, and so I think when I started getting nominated and they started talking about it, and then once I got closer in the top 15, that's when I knew I had a chance, especially when it was back-to-back years. And so, but that's when I started thinking about it. But after not making it, I tell my family they can vent for a day, but I don't need to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Come on, it's all ego for you as a player to think, you know, especially in a team game, to act like, you know, I deserve this. Man, you don't deserve this, man. There's so many people that deserve this. And that's why I feel like I'll say I deserve it, but I want everybody that had part in it to deserve it with me. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if that even makes sense, but you can take that where you want it.
Zach, what would be your message to a high school player here in South Florida or even out in Texas who might be a little undersized, might be a little, you know, down on himself? What would be your message to him to motivate?
Well, hopefully I give them a little hope when, you know, for somebody who's undersized, when they, you know, when it came to, you know, talent or anything like that, to never give up if you love something. You know, success is just finding something you love, but it's up to you to find that, not anybody else. And if you love something, keep straight ahead. Don't let all the outside noise from everybody doubting you. Well, if you want to use it as fuel, yes, but don't let it affect your path, because I could have gave up on myself a lot, and I got doubted the whole way, but I used it as fuel. So I feel like if you love something, that's success, man. Stick with it. Who cares? You don't have to please everybody. You're not going to. You know, you just got to please yourself, and that's by putting in the work, betting on yourself, and no matter the results, you'll go out a winner forever. That's how it is, so you don't ever have regrets.
Zach, what was it like the first time you visited the Hall of Fame? Unless this coming Friday is going to be your first time. I don't know.
Oh, it was special. Thursday, we're going to visit with my family, but to see, you know, the bust of Junior Seau in there, man, it was awesome, man. Love that guy. But seeing Jason, seeing all the other 10 Dolphins in there is cool too, man. So it's a special moment, you know. Thanks, Al.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you.